Thank you, EP. I'd like to call to order the July 24th General Membership Meeting of the Southwest Chapter of American Association of Airport of Executives. Kathy, can you verify that we have a quorum? Executive members with the little red airplane. We good? All right. Moving to the next item, we need to accept the minutes from our last meeting, general membership meeting held on January 30th. I'd be looking for an approval, so I'd like to get a motion from the floor. There's a question over there? Motion? Gladys, need a second. All those in favor? Minutes are approved. We're going to take a little bit out of order. I'm going to turn it over to Gary for the elections, as this one will take a little bit.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hello, boys and girls. Where's my dad? Where is he? Oh, there he is. Papa. All right, so I have the pleasure as the immediate past president to go ahead and coordinate the nominations and the elections for our new officers and board of directors. So we have lots of ground rules I have to go over, and then I'm going to ask each candidate to stand up and give about a minute and a half spiel of who you are and why you want to be on the board. So with that, I'm going to give a little spiel on the rules. The rules are we have two votes. We have an executive vote, so all executive and executive emeritus members can vote on this. And I believe you have a pink airplane on your badge. And then we will have another vote for just corporates. The rules on the corporates are a little different. So the corporate members have a purple diamond on their badge, but only one member from that company can vote. So for example, not to pick on anybody, Mead and Hunt, Scott and Jeff can't vote because one or the other accounts, it's only one vote. There's a very good chance, based on the bylaws and what we have, that we're going to have a runoff election with regards to the vote for corporate, and it's going to be the top two candidates. We'd have to do another vote again, so that's why we're starting early, because we'll have to probably come back and do it. As far as the elections for the executives, it's only two or one person going at it, so it's just whoever gets the most votes wins the whole thing. We did get a lot of absentee ballots, so that's exciting. With that, I'm going to start asking people to stand up and do their little spiel. I'm going to work down the elections for the second vice president. This is in alphabetical order, so there's no preference one way or the other. So I'm going to start with Miss Judy Ross. If you can stand up or come up and give a little half-a-minute spiel.
Gary's a little bit taller than I am, so I'll have to adjust the microphone a little bit. First, let me thank you for providing this opportunity to me to run for the second vice president of SWALI, and allowing me to have some fun along the way. If you had a little bit of my swag, I had the wristbands, little stickers, the flag, and my campaign statement that was a paper airplane. During my years in airport management, I've always had the privilege of working with several people that provide me with a wealth of experience. And all that information is on my campaign statement, so I'll share with you why I am interested in running for second vice president. I have a sincere interest and desire to focus on programs for our young professionals and our students in our chapter. We need to prepare our future leaders, and in that process, we will grow and leave a lasting legacy for the future. I'd like to briefly share with you and how we together can achieve that result. First, let's honor our past. There's been many great leaders in the association and in the airport industry that have mentored us as we became and grew up in our careers, and continue to support us today. Let's continue that legacy and honor their memory with the new ideas and further collaboration. And even those that brought us a little bit of a challenge, actually, they become the fertilizers that help our growth. Engagement. Let's engage our young leaders and students in our industry. Give them the experience with working alongside our experienced professionals, such as internships. Invite them to participate in our SWAI committees. Invite them to share in our passion for this industry. And demonstrate it's okay to have new ideas, and it's okay to be yourself. Thirdly, connect. And how do we connect is to provide support programs that encourage and invite their participation. Our president of the national president, Todd Hopley, said there were numerous scholarships in the AAAE. We need to actively encourage our academic members and all our members to participate in those scholarships. We need to bring our fair share into our SWAI chapter for our SWAI members. On Sunday, we had a very special session that we tried for our young professionals and our academic members. Ryan Ditto from Sacramento, Sean Moran from Livermore, and I have put together a program, and we received assistance from several members from different occupations throughout our airport industry. We would like to continue with the lessons learned from that session and continue with the format in future conferences. In addition, we also need to continue to support our membership in achieving professional accreditations. Kevin Buman is responsible for our accredited airport executive program. Let's support Kevin. He can't do it on his own, so let's all support Kevin and get more CIEs out there. In addition, let's support all those that are aiming for their AAEs in the national level. And we had 2 members that actually achieved their accreditation on Sunday. One was Kevin Duker from LAX, and the other one was Alex Smith from Phoenix Mesa Gateway. And where are you, Alex? I know Steve's not here. There's Alex. Congratulate him if you see him. And they were able to achieve that success through their mentors. And so I encourage all of us to look to see if we can allow our time to become a mentor for those that are we're trying to achieve their accreditation. And like Steve Schultz, Steve Ducker was his mentee. So thank you to Dean Schultz, who stepped up and was a mentor. And I'm proud because Alex was my mentee, and he achieved it on his first try. So I'm really proud of him. And I'm excited for this opportunity to serve you all if you so elect me as second vice president. And I think together we can grow and leave a legacy for our association and our future leaders. And again, I appreciate all your support, and let's continue to connect, collaborate, engage, and have fun along the way. Thank you.
Okay, next candidate for second vice president, Andy Swanson.
Okay, I'm going to make this pretty short. I just appreciate your vote. I'm going to take you a little bit through my kind of journey, even just through the campaign, and kind of talk about a few things, key points that I think we can make changes that could improve our organization and actually make it an open playing field. And I'm going to hit on this one, and this is not about me, it's not about Judy. It's about how we do our elections. And we just heard how the corporate is different from the executive. And it's very different. And it actually, just to give you an example, if I happen to have every vote in this room, the likelihood of me winning this election is very, very slim because of the large group memberships. And being able to reach out to those memberships as a smaller GA or small non-hub airport, it's challenging. And I'm not saying this, it's not going to change the outcome for me. So I want to bring this up to the membership, because that's one thing I brought up last year. Didn't get much traction, no interest, and it wouldn't have changed this election. But my commitment is to continue working on that wherever I end up, if I'm just a executive member. The other thing is, and I use this word, and I think it's misused, and I'll misuse it probably, but diversity and reaching out, and something I'm very proud of that I did just by chance. I ran into a member of the Navajo Nation at the FAA conference, and 2 members are here today. And I hadn't seen Orlando for years. And I'm sitting there saying, well, you know, we have sovereign nations that have airports, and we should be bringing them in. And there's other areas we can reach out and bring that. And again, I use the word diversity. It's probably the wrong way to use it, but I think it kind of, it covers the, I think what we have said we would do and follow, for better words, what the mothership is doing, what AAAE is doing and looking to do that. So I think we need to do a better job of that. I think we can, and I think we can continue to reach out. My whole thing is right here, I won because I brought at least 2 people here that weren't going to be here today, and I'm very proud of that, and I'm very happy. I'd appreciate your vote, and I wish Judy the best of luck too. Either way, you got great leaders, and I just appreciate everybody's support. So thank you.
Thanks, Andy. Barney, do you want to come and talk about yourself? I figured you would.
Good evening, infidels. Silence, I kill you. Seriously, you know, we are all here for a reason. We have a passion for this industry. I've been in the industry for 30 years. Started out as a fueler, an FBO. Thank you for being here, Signature. Today, I'm lucky enough to serve as a director at a beautiful airport in northern Arizona. But most of you in this room I've met or worked with on a committee. And the reason I stay in these kind of positions is to give back from where I came from. And that's what we're all here for, is to give back. Every one of these people that are running for this, they want to give back. And even though I'm running unopposed, I encourage you all to get involved, whether it be in your state organization or SWAI or the national organization, because we're all working to save our industry. So, that sound kind of like Donald Trump there working? Hey. No, thank you. But I appreciate everyone that's here.
Thank you, Barney. Okay, so the next group is Northern California, and let me make sure when you get the ballot, I'm going to explain to you how this works. So Mr. Swanson's running for the 2nd VP slot, but he also has the ability, and he's also running for the Northern California spot. So when you get your ballot, you're going to see 2 people listed, Andy and Bryant Garrett, who I'm going to invite up here in just a second. Make sure when you write down who your first and second choice is for Northern California, because depending on if he wins the 2nd VP slot, we'd have to calculate it out, and we just want to get the vote done all in one shot. So if Mr. Garrett, if he's around, want to come speak? I don't see him either. Okay. Do you want to do another one? Hey, it's you, man.
Yeah, okay, I'll take off where I left off. No, I'm kidding. I think it's really important to, and I'm going to mess this up. This is my dyslexic brain. Garrett, right? See, I always do it backwards. So Bryant, I always go Garrett, Bryant. Bryant, Garrett. Somebody gave me a good way to figure that out, too. There we go. Okay, I'll remember that now. So I just want everybody to know that, and he's not here today, I guess. I was expecting him to be here. But he's been driving back and forth to be here. He made it to the board meeting. And I just want everybody to recognize him for that, and I think it's really important. I would appreciate your vote, but I also want you to recognize what he's doing and running his airport. So, thank you.
Okay, Southern California, there's a battle between two folks. I'd like to invite the first young lady up, Courtney Johnson.
Good afternoon. My name is Courtney Johnson, and I work for Minterfield Airport District. Let me start by saying that we really have a good slate. So anyone you choose is going to be a great leader and going to do great things for this chapter. A little bit about myself is I started getting involved in SWAHI about 4 years ago and have been on numerous committees. And I've worked my way up, and I've worked really hard, and I will be your chair for Monterey in 2019. I'm also your scholarship chair. And I have been to every board meeting for the last 2 years. So I would really like the opportunity to serve SWAHI in a bigger role, and I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Okay, and her competitor, Mr. Wayne Ryder, works for the city of San Diego. He had to leave because he had to go to work because he has a council meeting tomorrow to prep for. And I always look at the big man over there. So unfortunately, he can't be here, but obviously he's also looking for the vote. So that is the slate for the board of directors, the executive group. What I suggest maybe is we hand out those right now, since they just heard it, already handed out. Everybody who's an executive member, do they have the slate in front of them? We do? Okay, so again, make sure the second vice president is not a 2-year term. It's only a 1-year term, working up the chairs. That was a misprint. And then, again, Northern California, pick number 1 and number 2. Vote early, vote often. Southern California, you just pick one. Northern California is a little different because Andy's running for both. I gotta do corporate now.
Oh, yeah. I was all excited. That was thrilling.
You're so excited.
I was so ready.
If you can give all those to Mr. Fauché, he's our counter with me. Mr. Bean. Oh, that gives me an opportunity to actually thank the nominating committee. We had to actually go through several people who are very interested. Mr. Fauché was on there, thank you, sir, as well as Mark Batista, if you all remember him from Monterey. He supported it, and the Honorable Joseph Husband, as always, the support. So I want to thank those folks for helping me out through the committee. All right, boys and girls, it's corporate time. So we have 3 people running. This is kind of exciting. This is where it's 99% sure we're going to have a runoff. And again, the way it works is top 2 vote getters will come back with the same ballot, and then we're going to take that one individual off that didn't get in the top 2, and you guys are going to vote again. And then this group alone, not the absentee ballots, will make the final decision of who your corporate director is. So in alphabetical order, again, I'd like to invite Justin Castagna.
Thank you, Gary, and thank you, everybody. I'm humbled to be up here. I've been a SWAHI member for 6 years now. My first conference was in 2013 in Arizona. That was my first year out of college. After I graduated, I was fortunate enough to get my CM during college and have been involved in SWAHI ever since with the help of some advice. One of those people being Scotty Malta, Gladys, and Sean Moran. So thank you to each of you. Since my time in SWAHI, I've served on a variety of different conference committees, mostly in the ambassador program and the programming committees. Since joining, I started out as an airport member working for Ventura County, and I had always kind of had a goal to be in a board position. I'm now on the corporate side, so the only place I can go is a corporate board seat. I've been fortunate enough to serve on the NBAA Young Professionals Council and get involved in some other aspects. So that being said, as we've heard a lot throughout this conference, the young professionals coming up, as Judy said, it's important, and I would like to take this opportunity to get involved. Barry, no, I don't want to run the organization on my first day, like you said, but certainly would like to get involved as much as I could. I have a passion for mentoring and student involvement and have continued to show that since I've been involved with the organization, and certainly want to continue that, not only through the corporate membership, but to all of the membership to work collaboratively together. So thank you for the opportunity, and good luck to the other guys.
Okay, I'd like to invite Mr. Howard Page up, please.
Hello, folks. I'm here today really looking at a lot of people I consider family. I've been involved with AAAE over 32 years. I've been involved with the Southwest chapter since I moved to California in 2011. From the first day here, I was welcomed like a member of the family, and I really appreciate the culture here and how everyone helps everybody here. It's a great organization. Some of my goals as coming here is to continue that tradition of helping everybody and mentoring the younger students. One thing I do bring with 32 years experience with AAAE is I have a large network nationally. Worked at over 100 airports on projects in my career, focusing on aviation for that whole time. So I want to bring that experience, but also I want to use that network of people that I know to help grow this organization more too, because I really think this chapter it's really family to me, and I want to help this chapter. And I think my experience, my network of folks, I can help bring some more representation from some of the larger airports, which I know corporate would like. And those that don't know me, I do listen. I have a little fun because that's part of what we do too. But I take this very seriously, and will give you all of my passion and that I put into my job every day. I'll give you that type of passion here. My firm fully supports me in this, and I have it's just a good time in my career, and I'd like to give back some of that experience. So I'd be very honored to represent you folks and to join this distinguished board. So I appreciate your vote. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Howard. And finally, I'd like to invite Mr. Matt Quick from Kaufman Associates.
All right, hello everyone, and a special good afternoon to all you corporate members out there. My name is Matt Quick. It's a privilege for me to be able to stand up here today to be considered as a candidate for the corporate director position for SWAI. I'd like to thank the nominating committee for allowing me the opportunity to do this. Just a little bit about myself. I'm from the Midwest. I grew up on a hog farm, and now I stand up here with 15 years of aviation experience. So you guys can ask me later how I got from point A to point B on that, but it's been quite a ride. And fortunately, that passion and that interest in aviation carried through college, going through an aviation program where I was able to get my pilot's license. A municipality down in Texas in the Dallas area gave a chance on me right out of college and allowed me an opportunity to manage their airport for 5 years. So that knowledge and experience I picked up on that side of the fence has served me very well for the last 12 years, serving as a planner and a project manager with Kaufman Associates. So that's where I'm at today. I've been with Kaufman for 12 years now and have had an opportunity to serve a variety of disciplines ranging from project management to business development, public outreach, and just an opportunity to engage with all you guys here in the SWAI organization. And that's really what brings me up here on the stage today, and really my interest in being considered for this corporate director position. It's just SWAI has given me a great opportunity to utilize my strengths and my experience and background in terms of the aviation industry. I love what I do. I believe in this industry. I know the importance of this industry, and that's just provided me a great platform in terms of serving on multiple planning conference committees, being a panelist and a moderator for different sessions, also helping to take the lead on the sponsorship role of things as it relates to SWAI. So this opportunity would give me a chance to reach out to you corporate members individually to see what we can do to enhance opportunities for you guys. And then the second half of that phone call, I'll put on my sponsorship hat and ask for your money. So either way, you're going to be hearing from me. So anyway, but no, it's a great opportunity for me to come alongside you guys to enhance opportunities and experiences within the organization. And I really appreciate that opportunity, just being able to work at airports across the country, a lot of interesting challenges facing aviation this day and age, and I feel like I can bring some good experience to the table and seeing how things are done differently in different parts of the country, and working with you all, and ultimately being a voice for you guys, and then being able to make sure that we fall in line with the overall goals and initiatives of SWAI. So with that, I appreciate your consideration, would ask for your vote, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you, guys.
All right, folks, thank you for all the candidates and their speeches. So if you're a corporate member and you have that diamond on, please raise your hand. But remember, only one person from your company can vote. Once we get that, I'm out. I'll be back later. That's it. I am all done for now. I will be back later, and you're MC.
All right, thank you, Gary. Have fun counting. Next item on the agenda is the President's Report. I had the opportunity to present at the FA conference to talk about the benefits of being a SWAI member, and I think that was very well received. Hopefully we'll get some additional membership out of that and exposure to people that are not members in our chapter. Since our last meeting on industry issues and positions, we've been trying as a chapter to be getting more out there for your benefit. We can't always, as an airport operator, go out and talk to our elected officials. I'm precluded from speaking directly to our congressional representatives, and that's where the chapter can come in and help. We've taken some positions on some industry issues this year, and we're watching a couple others. I've sent in letters of support as the president for California Bill AB 427 on the Aerospace Commission in support of that legislation. It is moving through, and that'll be covered a little bit more in their legislative report. We're watching closely what's going to be going, or how it's progressing through the House and Senate, the push by AOPA to get the Congress to mandate that we have ramps available for transient operators. So as soon as we hear from the mothership or see that we as a chapter need to jump on that, we do have lists of all of our House and Senate members for each state. So we as a chapter can send out letters on behalf saying, it was pretty concise at the board meeting that the board of directors is opposed to that ruling, so we're watching that. Don't want to get too far in advance of where it's going. I think they're having a difficult time right now finding a sponsor for that amendment, so we're waiting to see. Another thing we're watching at the federal level is there's a ground transportation proposal. Taxi cabs are trying to get the oversight taken away from airports and put it under federal. That would be a big issue for us commercial operators, and eventually could become other means and difficulties for smaller airports. So as that moves through, we'll also put in letters of support, and then a little bit more locally, we talked about ways we as the chapter can help airports on the Turo issues. If you're not familiar, Turo is a company that's trying to be like Uber, but with rental cars. They're doing it a little bit differently. It's a combination of Uber with Airbnb. So if you'd like other strangers to drive your car, you too can take it to the airport and have somebody pay to borrow it from you. Turo is saying that they're just a platform and they're not a commercial enterprise. So we're working closely with the California Airports Council and others to see where SWAI might be able to lend support. The California Airports Council is working with SFO to see if they're going to file an amicus brief in support of the SFO lawsuit. There's legislation in the state that failed because the state didn't want to get between Turo and SFO, but we don't want it to be run by Turo because they did try their own bill. So that effort by the chapter is available to membership. So if you have things come up in your neighborhood that you need somebody to come in and help you out, that's what we're here for. And Jonathan will be picking up that torch in about 6 hours. No countdown. That's pretty much it for where we are with the industry and issues and positions since the last meeting. I'd like to turn it over to Kathy Herring for the membership report.
All right, so there are general membership packets on all the tables, and on page 5 of that packet is a membership report. So we currently have 596 members. We had 579 this time last year, so we have seen an increase in membership, which is great. We currently have a total of, let's see here, 14 airport group memberships and 23 corporate memberships. Any questions? Okay, this one's me.
With no questions, thank you very much. And now I'd like to turn it over to Jonathan Hudson on the financial report and the 2018-19 budget.
I'm just go ahead and take this now. So in your packet is some information about the financials for the organization. You have a balance sheet, you have the budget for 18-19 as well as the Fidelity investment report. The board has elected to remove the funds from the Fidelity report and just place them into our savings account right now to it's going to be minimal growth, but we see volatility coming with that. So instead of potentially losing some money, they've elected to withdraw those funds. Is there any questions on the current budget? Because at this point, the membership is going to be asked to vote on the budget. And let me apologize first. It got in there sideways and very small. And the first person I look at that goes to the budget is Joe, and I saw them over there earlier trying to read the budget. So, any questions with regards to the budget? Yeah.
I see that the total expenses are down significantly from last proposed. Check. Are down. So they're down a lot. What do you attribute that? We're seeing that trend today at 326,000 versus last year's actual at 373 on total expenses.
So there was a lot of places within the budget, mostly below the current program fund line where the changes were made. The organization was in the process of spending down reserves, giving back the organization, and we were buying technology equipment. And we set a threshold of $100,000 not to dip below, We got to that point. So now we're in a trend to where we're going to start saving our funds again. So there's a lot of cutting that happened in program funds. There's also some increase, but we were strategic, and we're asking for a little bit more return from the conferences and a little less expense. So the bottom line on that is we're flipping from a 13,000, roughly 13,000 negative to a 23,000 positive for about a $36,000, $37,000 change in income for this next year, planned. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion from the membership? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you for going with the flow. We moved it all along. And now we'll move into the committee reports. There's a number of committee reports on the agenda. And what would be the easiest is if we have those that have a report on the agenda, just raise your hand and we'll get Gladys or someone else to come around with a microphone and have you do your report. Looks like TJ's ready.
All right, is that okay? Okay, all right. For the AAA Diversity Task Force, at this year's AAA conference, the headquarters asked, or national asked the chapter to include diversity sessions in the regional conferences. And we have accomplished that this year with the student session. And earlier this morning, we also had a session on leadership and cultural development within organizations. So as a chapter, we have accomplished that. So great job. And personally for me, earlier this year, I started the diversity speaker series. We did our first speaker series in Cal State LA earlier this year. That was a great success. And being the conference chair this year, I have to take a break to manage the conference. So now this is almost over. So I plan to take that effort back up. Give me a couple weeks to recover, and I will be working with the committee to kick that off again. So that's it. Thank you.
All right, who's next? Courtney.
He says it's, oh, there, I'm working now. Thank you, EP. Nothing much to report on right now for the committee. I would encourage everyone that wants to become engaged. We have some meetings tomorrow morning. I think they are at 9 a.m. Yep, sure are. So we will be having meetings and some coffee, and I would plead that you get engaged and pick any committee. If you could pick mine, it would be a lot of fun. But there are plenty to choose from, and we can report more next time.
Belton.
Yeah, I'm here. All right, so for academic relations, there's not much to report, but the chapter and AAA are still partnered together to create an internship within the chapter or within the region. And if any airports are interested in creating an internship at your airport or to fund it, please let me know and I will be able to give you the details.
John, since Brad's not here on legislative, is there anything you'd like to add from the legislative committee?
Well, I think you gave a pretty good legislative report. I haven't seen the final report. I know the California part. The only update on AB 427 is that it's in the Senate Appropriations Committee. It's going to be heard the day they come back from recess on August 6th. And if they're going to take testimony, and we don't know that for sure yet, I will be there on behalf of SWAE and ACA and Carol Ford on behalf of Cal Pilots to support the bill. But so far, there has not been a vote against it in the legislature, and this is the last step before going to the Senate floor.
Great. Thank you, John. Any other committee chairs that have a report? Thought I heard a yes.
We have Barney.
I have the historical committee report here today. And I want to let you know this is going to be the last historical report. We're going to be doing some merging of committees, and we will be going with historical and credentialing going together. I'd like to thank Jessica Bryan and Kathy Herring for helping me take the historical documents that have been a little bit out of balance for a year or two. And we've updated the awards. After this event, I'll be doing another update. We'll be putting those on the website as accurate. Another thing is we've discovered that we have a substantial amount of historical files in KCA's files, so I'll be meeting with Kathy to go over some of these and see if there's some documents that we could reduce so we're not storing so much stuff out there. And a cheap plug, I'm going to be moving to membership, so reach out to everybody in your airport that's not a member and get them signed up right away.
Corinne?
Hi, I'm Corinne Nystrom. I'm the chairman of the awards committee, and I want to just let all of you know that tonight we will be announcing the winners of this year's awards. I do want to say now that we really did have some great folks whose names were put in for the awards, and it was a very difficult decision. I'd like to thank Mike Dicken and Gary Mascaro and Kathy Herring, who helped shepherd us through this process. I do want to say that if a person that you nominated for an award does not get selected or was not selected for this year, I would strongly encourage you to resubmit their nominations next year, because we really had some strong candidates, and maybe next year they will be selected. So thank you.
Hello. Just wanted to give you a quick report from the AAAE board. And before I go into that, I just want to say thank you for putting your trust in me, and also Scotty Malta as serving your interests on the AAAE board. It's a pleasure to serve you, and it's also very interesting to hear everything that's going on at the national level and share that information with you as we can. There is a packet on your table which includes a report on the AAAE update, some legislative information that AAAE provided our board about a month or so ago. We try to do this every time AAAE updates their board packet. We pull out the portion that is very, the legislative portion, and include it in our SWAHI packets, so you have the same information that we have. And like has been mentioned before, if there's an issue that's important to you at the national level, please feel free to reach out to Scotty or me or anyone on the SWAHI board. We are here to serve you. Thank you.
Turn it over to Jennifer to do a quick update for, oh, sorry, Scotty.
Thanks, Mr. President. Just a real quick thing. I just wanted to acknowledge some of the folks here that you may not be aware of that are doing things on the AAAE board. So Danette has been recently appointed as the vice chairman of the U.S. Contract Tower Association. So I want to make sure that we all knew that. All the way down there, Dean Schultz has been appointed as the chairman of the largest committee that AAAE has, the Operations, Safety, and Planning Committee. And so just be aware that you've got people that you have either elevated in one form or another, or at the very least that are showing interest at AAAE, and we're looking out for the chapter and you as well. And then Jonathan Hudson, who will be our incoming president this evening, is also an at-large director. Barry is our nominating chairman for the nominating committee, if you will. And John's our AAA corporate director. So you've got a lot of folks that are sitting at the, as has been mentioned, the mothership, looking out for the interests of our chapter. Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you very much. Jennifer.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Quick update on behalf of Niall. He had to leave and get back to San Diego for accreditation. There, as you know, there were a couple of accreditations, 2 successful candidates this last weekend. There are 7 other candidates currently actively preparing for their accreditation in the Southwest chapter, so that's pretty significant. We're still working through, and I think we've finally resolved our efforts with AAAE to move forward with kind of modernizing how we present the final interview workshop and making it potentially available at other venues. So we're working with them closely on that. And then last but not least, there is going to be coming out an announcement from AAAE as there are a couple of vacancies on the BOE. One of them is at large. So anyone in any active accredited airport member is eligible to apply to be an at-large member of the BOE. So if that's something you're interested, watch for that. On my other committee, as was mentioned earlier, we are combining some of the committees, and part of that is a result of the bylaws changes that were made back in January. So we don't have any bylaws or policy decision changes for this meeting. We will come back with an update to the policy decisions in January, but then you'll be hearing from our incoming president on the new combined committees this evening. That's all for my report, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Talked to Kevin Beeman. There is no update on the credentials, but would encourage everyone that's eligible to apply for their CAE. That's another designation that recognizes your years of service. So encourage everybody to get those applications in for Kevin to consider. And I'll turn it back over to Jonathan for his reports.
So I am as first VP chair of the Ethics Committee. We have nothing to report on at this time, and I'm going to go ahead and do my second committee, the time and place. Just a brief overview, we're going to have the Summer Board of Directors meeting, just had, my list is not up to date. The annual conference, we're here. The Fall Board of Directors meeting is going to be in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I want to reiterate, it is a Board of Directors meeting open to all members. Any member that wanted to attend a Board of Director meeting, it's an open meeting. The winter conference the date is January 27th through the 30th at Monterey Plaza, and then the spring board meeting will then be at Lowe's Ventana Canyon. The summer conference next year is at Lowe's Ventana Canyon, July 27th, and then we will announce tonight. We have set the summer following for. We'll just leave that for tonight. How about that? A cliffhanger.
2020. Well, you can keep that one. With that, I can look back to Gary and see if you have more work with all that food in your mouth.
Thank you, Mr. President. So shockingly, we have a runoff for the corporate. So the top two vote getters were Mr. Howard Page, Mr. Matt Quick. So, folks, I want to thank Justin Castagna for putting his name in. He did a great job wherever he disappeared to. And again, for the corporate folks, one corporate representative for the company, please raise your hand. We're going to do one more vote, and whoever gets the top will get the winning spot. And the results of the election will be announced tonight at the banquet. It'll be top secret. So any corporate folks that want to know the answer, all it costs is beer. And lots of it, so. Oh, Tito's, that'll work. So thank you.
Okay, any other committee reports that we missed? Scotty.
You know, I was trying to rush a little bit, and I forgot something I think is very important. Everyone knows Todd McNamee in the room. You heard Todd Hopley, and you also heard our chair talk about Todd. Todd is the first vice president of AAAE, and he will be installed as, beg your pardon, first vice chair. He'll be installed as chair in Boston, June 16th through the 19th. So if you have the opportunity to travel to support Todd, please plan to come to the AAA annual conference in Boston in June. Thank you.
Mr. Leonard, did I see you raising your hand?
You could just hold that for me, that'd be awesome. Good team, good team. Just joking. For those of you that weren't able to make the corporate meeting yesterday afternoon, we had one at 4:30. Feel free to come reach out to me if you'd like any follow-up from that. We really do appreciate everybody's input to that meeting. We listen and take those notes for ways to make the next conference better, as well as to improve our corporate membership. We truly do appreciate the strong financial support from all the corporate members. It's greatly appreciated, and I know the entire SWAHI membership appreciates it as well. I want to continue to encourage corporate folks to reach out for some of the scholarships that are available for corporate members. We haven't seen any corporate folks go after those scholarships, and we just want to make sure that there is awareness that there are scholarships available. And look forward to continuing with the new corporate director to continue to improve the benefits for our membership. And Arpit, the other corporate director who's going to be ending his term here shortly, was not able to make it, but wanted to express his gratitude for the opportunity to serve you folks for the last 2 terms or 4 years. So we appreciate Arpit for his service to the SWAHI board. So that concludes the report. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. And Mr. Peterson has a report.
Afternoon, folks. The technology today has gone fairly well. It went fairly well yesterday, too, except for that little blip that we had. One of the things I wanted to point out is that it's gone better each time that we've done this, and this time I think it's gone best of all. Streaming has gone fairly well. We've had up to 15 people at one time watching. When we looked, was that this morning, there had been 85 different people that had logged in and looked at the streaming that we were doing. So we're reaching out. We're hitting some people who couldn't otherwise be here. But one of the things I wanted to point you out to was a young man back there that, as has been told to me, was voluntold that he was going to come out here and give me a hand. And he showed up Sunday. Was it Sunday that we set all this up? It takes about 4 or 5 hours to get all this stuff set up. And so, Cole, would you stand up for a second? So I want you to know that he's come in and he's just figured it all out. It's been very nice having him back there. He's worked really hard. He's got everything figured out. I'm sitting over there just kind of watching the whole thing go today. And so, this is great for me. And the other person I want you to point out is Mr. Zimlich back there, whom I knew as a student at San Jose State. And he stepped up today to help, and so he's been running the PowerPoint presentations and doing a little of the AV. And then yesterday we also had his boss, Greg Bear from Napa, who came in and was also helping. So I just think it's important to recognize the people that actually spend the time to come out and give us a hand, because it's a lot of work. That's what I got.
Thank you. I think we've hit everybody that's here to be able to give a committee report. And with that, turn it over for member comments. It's your chance. Okay. Thank you for all those comments. Director comments. Yes, sir.
So I'd like to take this opportunity for anybody that's not going to be at the banquet to thank John. This will be his last meeting, and I think he deserves a round of applause for his leadership.
Thank you, Jonathan. And just one thing for tonight. Today is National Tequila Day, so have a little bit of celebration. And with that, need a motion to adjourn. Second. Those in favor? Oh man, this is going to be the last time. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.